new light, as not only is he good looking and all that, but he's also a funny guy. So Dick Lombard, good looking and funny.
Thank you, Pastor Steve. And thank you, Natalie. Hey, aren't they great MCs? And Pastor Steve, I have never heard you sing before. You are amazing. You really are amazing. Let's give it up for Pastor Steve. Well, I better be upfront with you that I have a fear of public speaking. And so, what you might see is that my voice may crack a little bit, I might stutter, but you know what? That's okay, because I came prepared, and I'll show you that in just a second here. But you know what? I come from a very long line of stutterers, and it started back in junior high when I had to get up in front of a class to read, and it gets so bad that I even stutter when I talk in my sleep. So it's been traced back to a long line many years ago in England to the House of Stutter, and so I'm hoping that tonight I'm not going to do that too much, but I certainly came prepared, and I'll show you. Came prepared for my nervousness. I've got my handy handkerchief here. I also do have a piece of plastic to put down. This is just in case I have an accident. And then my secret weapon my secret weapons are these puppies. These do wonders, I tell you. So they keep me going. So, what I want to know is, do any of you have any phobias? I'm sure some of you have at least some phobia, like a fear of spiders, which is arachnophobia, or there's a fear of heights, which is acrophobia, and then of course there's also the fear of homogenized milk, which is homophobia. And then you've also heard of claustrophobia? Well, that's the fear of Santa Claus. So I'm just hoping that I don't get any more phobias. So the other day, I was driving down the street, and I saw this sign that said, "Slow children." And then this kid dashes by and just ruined my whole faith in street signs. So I will never trust a street sign again. Well, I'm sure many of you are coffee aficionados, and I bet some of you are even hooked on Starbucks. Well, did you know that Starbucks is actually changing its name? Now they're going to be called We're raking in the big bucks, because we've got a pretty good thing going. Well, I'm also somewhat of a coffee snob, and my coffee of choice happens to be instant coffee. So when I do drink coffee, I make sure that my coffee comes from only the finest of instant coffee beans. I went to the hospital just recently to visit a friend of mine who had just had surgery. And hospitals really give me the creeps. And that's because everything there is so sterile. What is with that? Birthmarks are a really interesting thing. Birthmarks are fascinating because you just never know what they're going to look like or where they are. They're just so random in nature. And I have a birthmark, which I'd show you, but it's on the inside of my body. When I was younger, in grade school, I was one of the shortest kids in my grade. So when I got to be in junior high, I started to think about jobs I could possibly have. So I went to my father for some suggestions, and since he didn't want to set the bar too high for me, he suggested I be a caddy at a miniature golf course. I'm also kind of a student of world religions and other cultures because people really fascinate me. Take the Amish, for example. They electrify me. I tend to be a real worrier, and I worry about almost everything. In fact, I worry so much about getting insomnia that it keeps me up all night. Now, when you go to the doctor's office or the dentist's office, isn't it amazing how many forms you have to fill out? I mean, there's the HIPPO form. There's also the insurance form. There's the health history form. And then finally, the personal information form. And that form, I have to admit, I have a hard time filling out sometimes because there are a couple questions I just am really unsure about. So one, for example, is skin color. So do they mean the outside of my skin or the inside? And then there's primary language. I don't really know what to put down for primary language. So I just base it upon what other people say about how I talk. And I just jot down gibberish. Well, I'm sure a lot of you have pets. And does anyone have a dog?
Yes.
Okay, I've got some dog fans out there. All right. Well, you know what? I bet that my dog is a little bit different from your dog. And that's because my dog has been diagnosed with dyslexia. That's right, my dog has dyslexia. And that's because he's a dog, but he thinks he's a god. And so, he's just really crazy. So I took him for a walk one day. We were walking down the street, and we find or stumble upon, this squirrel, this dead squirrel in the middle of the road. And sure enough, he gets all excited, wants to check it out. So he tries to, pull me over there, and I tell him to heel. And the squirrel comes back from the dead. Well, thank you